Hey guys, and welcome to another video from the team here at BlenderTech.com. That's BlenderTek.com. Don't forget to like the video and to subscribe for more Blender, Unity 3D, and programming videos. The team tries to add at least one quality video a day, if not more. And lastly, don't forget to remember, create your way. So today we're going to be continuing on the 2005 Mustang GT. If you remember last time, we got the basic shape of the hood roughed in, so we're just going to touch that up a bit. We're going to make a few little changes, and then we're going to get started on the rest of the car. So in top view, we had everything pretty good. Let me move the wireframe so you can see and turn off subsurf. In top view, we had everything pretty good. We had the hood line all lined up. We had this curve started pretty good, and where the hood scoop kind of goes, we had that line going good, as well as we created some loop cuts to create a little bit better topology. And at the front, we've also got the ledge started to give it some depth, and also because that's a major styling part of the hood. So I just wanted to add another couple more things in. From side view, we've got it all. Oh, I keep pressing that. I don't know if I like the pie menus yet. Anyways, in front view, it lines up pretty darn close, so I'm liking that. So that's good. And yeah, it's looking pretty good. In front view, there's only one little thing I'm going to change here on you guys. Anyways, I'm going to turn my screencast keys on here for you. And so yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with the coordinates. So if you missed them from last time, if you got lost, the X is 11.7 on the side view, sorry. The X is 11.7 and the size in the Y is 11.9. On the top, the X is 0.012 and the size in the Y is 5. On the front, the size and Y are both 5 and X is 0. And in the back, again, it hasn't changed. Size is 5, Y is 4.970, and X is 0. So anyways, from the front view, I'm going to close that off now. There's a small couple changes that I made here. What I did is in object mode, just like this. What I did was I selected everything, so I made sure I had the hood selected. Actually, now is a good time to rename it to hood, so that we know what it is, because we're going to be creating dozens of objects. What I did was I took the entire thing, I had it all selected, so I selected all, and then I just moved it over so that the origin point was right on the middle, because it was slightly off on the old one, and I think it was messing it up a little bit. It wasn't right down the middle as it should have been. And then I also looked at this and I realized that there's this huge gap here where the hood should be, and this ledge is basically almost perfectly straight right across, and I remember that very strongly when I owned the car. So we're going to quickly go into edit mode and we're going to fix that. It's going to be a very easy fix. All we're going to do is we're just going to select these two faces, and then we're just going to move them down right onto that line there. And then we're going to take these two and we're going to deselect everything to make sure we're not playing with other vertices. We're going to take these two and we're going to move them down so that it's right on the line as well. A little bit higher. And then yeah, basically you can see how this works out. Stick those in there. And then we'll just go and make these sides fit together a bit better. We'll move these over and down a little bit. And we'll move this one over. We'll get that line going good again, because now all the views are centered and lined up. And I'll move it over a little bit just to keep that line going. One other thing I did was these lines right here. Let me go into line select mode. These lines right here, I just made a small change. They were angled upwards, more like these lines. What I've done is I've basically straightened them out a little bit so that they follow this line a little bit more, so that it's basically just a more flowing line. It's a little bit easier to understand. It's better topology overall. So Now, with that said, if we turn on solid and make sure it's smooth shaded, where's smooth? Make sure everything's, you got your faces in smooth shading. So in object mode, turn up the subsurf, and yeah, you got that hood now. I think it looks a lot better because now you've got the hood scoop thing. Let me go into perspective mode. You've got the hood scoop thing that starts off very, very small and extends and gets a little bit bigger and bigger and bigger as it goes along. And then you've got this nice hood shape that's very aggressive and fairly square, but it's still smoothed out where it needs to be. And then at the front, you got this very, very aggressive pointed look, which is what the car should have, in my opinion. And that's what the car looks like. If you go into top view unperspective, you can see that's about how the hood looks. This should be curved a little bit more, so I think I might add a loop cut in there just to finish it off. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to create what's called a border loop, just to protect our geometry, and then we should be about done with this. So let's make those few changes now. I'm just gonna save this and reload this because it's been sitting all night and it's got a RAM leak somewhere, memory leak, so I'm just gonna restart this and I will be right back with you. Alright, I'm back and we are good to go. So let's go into wireframe mode again. Turn off the subsurf. So like I said, we need to add another loop cut right down the hood scoop line here because that curves a bit more both on the top and the bottom. So I think that's ruining the geometry a little bit. So in edit mode, let's go Control R and let's just add one there right down the middle. I think will work just fine because we're just going to curve that out. And so at the top, just select this vertice. Oh, we're in line select. In vertice mode, I guess. Select that. Just bring it down. Just rough it out. If you need to go over, that's fine because remember, subsurf will smooth it out for you. And then down here, you don't want to ruin the geometry. So with everything deselected, just make sure you select those both at the same time since we have the edge basically perfected in my opinion. And yeah, I think that might just about do it. We'll double check. Got a few little changes to make here, as you can see. Everything's looking good. This needs to come over a little bit. I think that might be, yeah, that's a front and top view problem. I don't know which one to stick with. I think I'm going to stick with the front view because we're going to be working on the fender next. So as you can see in front view, everything lines up except for the top of the hood here, but that's no problem because we already decided that the top of the hood was going to be fairly high, and we could bring it down if we wanted, and then just bring this down a little bit, but not much, because that's going to ruin the aggressiveness of the hood. If we do that, then we might have to change the rest of the hood, but we could do that just to make it fit the blueprint look a little better. So now that that's done, let's go into object mode in solid shading and let's just give it a quick look with subsurf on. So there, I think that looks a heck of a lot better. Now everything's nice and smooth and follows that line there. It goes right to the corner by the fender there in the windshield where everything lines up. The hood scoop is pronounced, but it's not super big, and we can always change it later if we want to. Basically, the most important part is that we have the outlining geometry because we can always change shapes later. That's why we make them more than one object. We make a car out of more than one object, but basically it's most important that we have the outlining geometry set up before we go ahead and start making a new part. So in front view, like I said, that ledge is basically the same size all the way across. Anyways, from side view, the only thing I might change is, yeah, this should be a little bit flatter, but again, in front view everything lines up so good and it is almost perfectly flat that I think I'm just gonna leave it the way it is, and I'm just gonna say, yeah, that's just a problem with the side view, because everything else lines up pretty darn close on the side view, and that makes me happy because the side view has been very irritating. So with that said, let's go ahead and quickly add that what do you call it? A proximity loop. I call it a geometry. I call it a protector loop. A geometry protecting loop. So what it is basically is in edit mode. What you do. Let me turn subsurf off again and go on to wireframe. What it is, and this is very common in car modeling, is, and I should have done this beforehand, you just create an edge loop very, very close to the edge of your geometry, and then you just stick it in there and leave it. And then you do the same thing for this side. Again, you pull it right close to the edge and you leave it. And then in this case, we already have that ledge started, so we don't want it there. Instead, we want it horizontally right here, almost all the way down to the bottom there, so about right there. So if you look at it from top view, well, I could have even gone a little bit further. Basically, let me Alt-Shift-click here. Oh, where did my screencast keys go? They like to turn off and on. Anyways, so basically this loop right here is what I call the geometry protecting loop. So that basically if we ever want to completely redesign our hood, we still have the basic outline. It won't ruin any other work we do on outside the hood now, and we have that basic shape there. That's the whole reason behind that. You might see me use it in other objects. It's quite common in car modeling. It's quite common in lots of other modeling too, actually. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with where that ended up in the time amount. So we're going to just leave that for now. Like I said, we might tweak it later. We're definitely going to give it more depth. But for now, we're just going to leave it because that is good enough for me. So, with that said, what we need to do now is we need to select the whole entire outer edge of the hood. So, inline select mode. Why am I getting this cross cursor? I don't like it, and it's really making me upset. I'm gonna have to restart Blender again, maybe. Anyways, is it because I'm not in global mode? If anyone can tell me that, I would love to know, because that's really upsetting me. Anyways, you select the whole outer edge and make sure you get every point. I'm in top view because that's where we can basically see everything. And then once you get to where the ledge is, go to front view. We're going to select that too because we're going to be working around that, but we're just selecting the outer edge. And so what this, we're going to basically duplicate this and create as a new object. And what this is going to be is this is going to be the edge that we start creating the fender and everything else from. So it's basically connecting what other objects we create to the hood now. So that's why most people start with hoods. That's why I start with hoods, and so on. So with all those selected, all you do is you go Control D to duplicate. So as you can see, we have that whole shape duplicated now. Right click and then hit P so that we can separate it, and then separate by selection. You'll see we got hood decimal 001. So I'm going to rename that just plain body now. I'm going to leave all the modifiers on as they are. What the heck is this now? Oh, that's from that. Just didn't show up for some reason in object mode. Weird. Oh, Blender's being funny today. So yeah, I'm gonna leave the hood on about 2 for a subsurf work. We can even turn it down to 1. 2. And then body, which is our new basic outline that we've just created from the hood's outline. We're going to start working with that. So actually with hood, I'm going to leave it in wireframe mode. In fact, I'm going to hide the whole thing. It's going to be distracting otherwise. So with body selected, just go into edit mode, make sure in your wireframe. We're going to get rid of these edge creases because we don't need them anymore, and we can always re-add them after. So just hit, well, I'm going to go into the end panel to do it. Just go mean crease 0, and that should get rid of them. Yeah, so that gets rid of them. So now we have this basically hood outline in 3D, as you can see. like you can see from the side view especially. We got the whole, there's the top of the hood, there's the corner, and here's the front ledge, right? So you can tell it's the hood shape, and that's what we're gonna build. I think we're gonna start with this fender and headlight area. That's what we're gonna build it off of. And so what that allows us to do, like I said, is it allows us to create the body out of multiple objects and line them all up together. So let's get started. In front view, what we're gonna do is, now that we have that selected, we're just gonna start outlining things, because we can't really use a single shape here. We kind of just have to freestyle it. So I think what maybe we could. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to create, no, we really can't. You know what, I lied. Let's add in a plane in front view. Shift A, mesh plane, and scale it down. This is going to be our headlight basically. So just kind of line it up like that, and then grab this corner and put it way over there. You want it to be overlapping because subsurf is going to make it curvy. So we'll see how that works out. It is definitely an interesting shape. And we have these extra vertices here to worry about, so we will have to cut it up anyways after, so we'll see what happens, but we'll start there. And then if we select this in top view, you can see it is way off. So let's select that entire plane and let's just move it straight back. So now I've turned off my manipulators, which I like using, but they're harder to use with this crosshair. So line them up. Where would the headlight be? Somewhere in there. I guess this is gonna have to be rotated too. This is gonna be the tough part. So we'll put it somewhere in the middle in side mode, and we can try rotating it along the X, Y, Z, I guess. Well, that may just cause issues too. Let's rotate it -90 though. So it's 45 degrees, I guess, on this view, right? No, it's completely flat on this view. Yeah, wrong way. So inside view, once it's lined up in the center of the headlight kind of bezel, rotate it along the Z 45 degrees. So as you can see from the top now, it's basically kind of lined up where the headlight should be. It should actually be further forward. It's basically this line right here. So it's not quite 45 degrees. So I think I'm going to leave the center right there and just rotate it by hand in top view. Just something like that. We want the very end vertice to line up right there. Let's see how it looks in front view. Ugh. Yeah, that's not good. But, I guess if we move this vertex way over, that's the basic shape of it there, so it's not like it's way out of whack. So with this top vertex here, as you can see in top view, oh, now what have I gone and done? Grab along the X, let's just snap that to there. Nope, doesn't want to play today. So we kind of want to outline the shape in all views, right? But you and I both know that these views have been kind of aggravating. Since it's just a plane, we can't really do that much about it, so we'll just work with it for now. So I guess from this vertex right here, this top vertex, that's where this crease in the fender starts. So let's just hit E to extrude and extrude a vertex all the way back there. And then you can see it's starting to rough together. Well, you can't really see it, but you can tell that we're starting to get the shapes going. So another thing we can do is, while we're at it, we can subdivide this. Take this vertex and just double tap G to edge slide and just slide it so it lines up with that line. Then let's subdivide this line. Take that vertex and double tap G to edge slide it to where that lines up. And then when the time comes, we can line those up properly. But for right now, I'm just going to leave it. And so we're just going to start tracing out basically the body shape. So I'm just going to give this along the X. And so yeah, just trace it out. So right here we're going to have to turn off clipping for a second, then we can extrude, then turn clipping back on. So I'm just going to start filling in some shapes here to get a rough idea of what it looks like. Of course, don't forget we always want quads whenever possible, otherwise subsurf looks very funny. Well, we're hitting the half-hour mark again, and it's just early in the morning, and I just wanted something to do, and that hood was bothering me more so than wanting to start on the body, so we're just gonna leave it there for now, I think. But you start to get the rough shape. You can see the shape of the body starting to come out, sort of. So anyways, we'll work on that more later. Basically, it was just an update on fixing the hood and how we get that protection loop going and getting the body line started. If you know anything about that cursor in edit mode, let me know in the comments. It's bothering me. I don't know if I can continue this tutorial like that. I might have to restart a 4th or 5th time. So anyways, thanks for watching from the team here at BlenderTech.com. Again, that's BlenderTech.com. If you enjoyed this video and learned something, please like it and don't forget to subscribe for more Blender, Unity 3D, and programming videos. We now offer hard copies of our videos. If you'd like a copy to download onto your computer to watch later, let us know and we'll upload it to our server for you to watch later in the media player of your choice. If you dislike this video for some reason, don't just leave. Instead, leave a comment or email the team at info@blendertech.com about what you did or did not like. We also take requests for tutorials, so let us know what you want or want more content of. See you next time, and remember, create your way.